probably think you can survive a zombie outbreak, don't you? You've already imagined your survival squad, chosen your weapons, and even picked out the perfect base to ride out the chaos. But surviving the first year isn't just about swinging a bat or barricading your windows. It's way harder than you think. What happens when the water supply dries up? When the internet goes dark? When the power grid finally shuts down and you're left in the dark with no backup? Luckily for you, we've put together a guide that covers all of those problems, and even more so, that you actually stand a chance of making it through year 1. But before we get started, here's a breakdown of the type of zombie you'll be facing. For this zombie apocalypse scenario, we'll be talking about your classic textbook zombies that shuffle around relatively slowly and spread the infection by biting. They don't climb walls, but are still a massive threat in hordes. Think of Night of the Living Dead zombies. Now that the rules are sorted, what should you do right off the bat? Month 1, get out. Well, you probably think you'll be fine staying in your city with those slow zombies. But here's the reality. Cities fall first. With millions of people packed together, the infection can spread like wildfire. Within days, grocery stores are going to be stripped clean. Hospitals will be full of zombies. And things are going to go bad fast with so many people gathered up. Sure, some of the cities might have bunkers, but unless you were first in line with VIP access, don't count on it. And even if you do squeeze into one, what happens if just one infected person gets inside? Let's just say it won't end with movie night and popcorn. Another option is barricading yourself in your house. Sounds safe, right? Well, only if your pantry is secretly a supermarket. Most people only have a week or two of food and water at home. Once that's gone, you'll be starving behind locked doors, which is just a slow-motion way of becoming zombie chow. The smarter option is to leave. Before you head out, though, you'll need to stock up on the essentials. This means having a good amount of canned food, bottled water, camping equipment, and any weapon you can carry without slowing yourself down too much. And you definitely need to grab a paper map, because Google Maps won't be around when industries collapse, and even though GPS might last longer, it's still much more convenient to use a good old-fashioned map. Month 2, establish a camp. Now that you've made it out of the city alive, you need somewhere to actually stay. Wandering forever sounds adventurous, but in reality, it's just a one-way ticket to exhaustion. Set up camp in the wilderness, but don't just throw down a sleeping bag anywhere. The golden rule is to be close to water, but not too close. Rivers and lakes attract survivors, and if there's one thing scarier than zombies, it's desperate humans who want your supplies. When it comes to water, drink it smart. Never gulp it straight from the stream, because that's just asking to get diseases. Instead, boil it for at least 10 minutes, or use a portable water filter if you are clever enough to grab one. Shelter matters too. You'll want protection from rain, cold, and wildfire. A simple tent might cut it short term, but finding an abandoned cabin is going to be a huge asset. Just be cautious. If you walk into a cabin without checking, you might find a zombie lurking right around the corner. And whether it's a cabin or your own built shelter, make sure you can see every possible entry point. Blind corners are just invitations for jump scares, and nobody likes those. Month 3, hunt. By the 3rd month, canned foods aren't going to cut it, and you'll be running low on where to grab supplies. At this point, hunting needs to become your next priority. Here's the trick. You have to start small. Hunting doesn't mean going directly for deer or pigs. Stick to smaller prey like rabbits, squirrels, and birds. They're easier to catch and safer for beginners. Traps are your best friend here. Snares or pit traps can work while you're doing other things, and more importantly, they reduce the risk of you injuring yourself on a clumsy hunting attempt. The last thing you want is to sprain your ankle chasing a rabbit, because that injury could lead you towards an untimely demise if a zombie catches up. There's also the risk of infections. No matter what you catch, always cook your meat thoroughly. Infections in the apocalypse are basically signing your own death certificate, since it'll be much harder at this point to find antibiotics. Eating undercooked rabbit is not how you want to go out when zombies are already trying to eat you. Month 4, looting. Life in the wilderness isn't exactly a 5-star resort. And by month 4, you'll realize just how fragile human bodies are without medicine. Cuts from going through shrubs or snagging yourself on wood get infected quickly without proper care, and you can get sick just from dirty water or spoiled food. Both are enough to take you down, even without a zombie bite. That's where looting comes in. Use the map you grabbed earlier and scope out small villages or quiet towns. Don't run headfirst into the city again, but try to find clear paths to local pharmacies using your map. They may already be looted, but there's still a chance you may find some basic supplies. Food and bottled water are always worth taking if your hunting streak runs dry. But remember, looting isn't just about zombies. Other survivors will have the same idea. Keep your eyes open, move carefully, and never take more than you can carry. A backpack of medicine is worth far more than 20 tins of beans you can barely lift. Month 5, move. By now, you should be aware of zombie patterns. Hordes migrate constantly, following noise, animals, or even the faint scent of humans. And then there are other survivor groups who will constantly be on the move. If you stay in one place too long, you're eventually going to get caught. So relocate every couple of months after this point. When scouting for a new camp, aim high. Fenced areas, building with controlled entry points, and locations near fresh water. If the spot also has abandoned tools, weapons, or medical supplies, jackpot! Once you settled in, repair weak spots and create escape routes. Never assume your new home is unbreakable. Have a backup plan, because in the apocalypse, even the best shelter is temporary. Most importantly, prepare defenses. A secure camp doesn't just protect against zombies, it also warns you when people are coming, so set up sound alarms. And let's be honest, sometimes humans are worse than the undead. Month 6, grow. By the 6th month, the apocalypse has basically become your new normal. But surviving on canned beans, rabbit stew, and lucky looting runs forever isn't realistic. Now it's time to farm. Growing your own food gives you stability, and the sooner you start, the better. You'll want crops that are easy to grow and last a while without rotting. Potatoes are a lifesaver. They grow in almost any soil and can keep for months if stored right. Beans are another good pick. They're protein-packed and don't need much to thrive. Corn is solid too, since it's versatile and easy to preserve. Farming in the apocalypse isn't glamorous. You're basically playing Zombie Stardew Valley on survival mode, but it's one of the smartest moves you can make. A steady food source means you'll worry less about starving and more about actually making it past year 1. Keep relocating, but make sure you have easy access to your farms to check up on every few days. Month 7, build a group. By now, you've realized one simple truth. You can't do everything alone, especially when you've started farming. Hunting, guarding, gathering, farming, defending. There aren't enough hours in the day for one person to manage it all. For example, while you're out looking for food, who's protecting your camp? Or, if you get injured, who's patching you up? Exactly. Being alone isn't just dangerous physically, it destroys you mentally. Humans need humans, even if those humans snore, complain, or eat the last can of beans. Isolation leads to paranoia, depression, and eventually mistakes. And mistakes are deadly in a zombie apocalypse. But here's the catch. You need to be careful. Trust is the #1 currency in this new world. Morals, laws, and rules are gone. Good people can turn bad when hungry, scared, or desperate. Build a group slowly and make sure loyalty is proven before you hand someone a weapon or a key to your camp. Month 8, store. Farming is great. Hunting is great. But Mother Nature doesn't take requests. There will be months where crops fail, animals disappear, or storms wipe out half your supplies. If you're not ready for that, you'll starve. That's why storage is survival. Build up a stockpile of dried, canned, or preserved foods. Salted meats, beans, rice, and dried fruit are gold in the apocalypse. The same goes for water. Keep containers full in case your stream dries up or gets contaminated. Think of it like prepping for a rainy day. Except in this case, the rainy day could last 3 months and involve zombies scratching at your walls. Month 9. Map your territory. The world you knew is gone. Highways are broken, cities are ruins, and society is just scattered gangs and groups trying to survive just like yours. To avoid nasty surprises, you need to know your territory. Scouting becomes essential. Send out a couple of people to map nearby villages, rivers, old roads, and any possible threats. Knowing which way a horde is moving or which abandoned farm has useful supplies can mean the difference between thriving and becoming dinner. And remember, don't just map zombie movements. Other humans are out there, and some aren't friendly. It's better to know who your neighbors are before they find you first. Once you have everything mapped out, the next step is to Month 10. Secure your base. At this stage, most of humanity is infected, and only the strongest or luckiest have survived. That means zombie hordes are at their peak in numbers, and when they hit your base, fences alone won't cut it. You'll need traps like spikes, pits, and noise distractions to slow them down. Reinforce fences with scrap metal or wood. Set up lookout points so you see trouble coming before it's on top of you. But here's the truth. Zombies aren't your biggest threat anymore. They're predictable. They groan, they shuffle, they bite. It's the humans you have to worry about. The ones who know how to climb, sneak, and aim, having survived this long. Month 11. Prepare for a fight. After this point in the apocalypse, most of the people left alive are survivors like you, and not all of them are friendly. Some groups are armed, organized, and desperate enough to take what's yours. The difference between zombies and humans? Zombies can't plan. People can. That means you need to prepare for real fights. Weapons matter. Ammunition matters. Even simple defense drills for your group matter. And don't just arm yourselves. Train yourselves. It's not enough to have a gun if no one knows how to reload under pressure. The stronger your group becomes, the less likely someone else will see you as an easy target. Month 12. Reproduce. Congratulations! You made it a full year into the apocalypse. But here's the big picture reality. Surviving day to day isn't enough. If humanity is going to have a future, someone has to rebuild it, and that means reproducing. Yes, it sounds awkward to bring up rebuilding civilization while you're still wiping zombie blood off your boots. But if everyone avoids the topic, humanity ends with you. Couples need to think about children, and groups need to think about how to preserve knowledge, skills, and survival techniques. Farming, hunting, medicine, all of it has to be passed down. And kids need more than just survival. They need to be taught. If the next generation only learns how to run and hide, humanity will stay stuck in the Dark Ages. But if they learn, adapt, and grow, there's hope of building something better again. Hope this helps with your first year, and if you found this breakdown helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more zombie survival content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.